Hello everyone. In this presentation, I am going to discuss ISLM model. This model or theory given by Hicks Hansen is a very important theory in macroeconomics because it helps to find out the national income and the equilibrium interest rate in the economy as a whole. So we will discuss this model in detail. Before starting the discussion, I would like to request all of you to please subscribe my channel and share it with your friends. ISLM model. It is also called as ISLM theory of interest, developed by Hicks and Hansen in 1937. This theory is also famous as Hicks-Hansen model. ISLM model is very important theory in macroeconomics because it provided tool to show how interest rates and real economic output are related. ISLM model was derived from the two basic interest rate models, the IS model and the LM model. IS model is also called as saving investment theory of interest or the classical theory of interest. This model is also famous as the real theory of interest and it is associated with the goods market. Whereas LM model is also known as liquidity preference theory of interest or the monetary theory of interest, and it is associated with the asset market. But the classical theory of interest gave the partial picture of only the goods market. It did not consider the asset market. Whereas the monetary theory of interest, the LM model, only gave the partial picture of the asset market and ignored the goods market. But market as a whole should be studied together. Therefore, Hicks-Hansen included both the goods market and the asset market together and introduced the new theory called ISLM model, which has both the feature of classical theory of interest and monetary theory of interest. As discussed, ISLM theory is the combination of IS model and LM model. IS model is the classical theory which was given by classical economists Ricardo, Mill, Marshall and Pigou, whereas LM model is the monetary theory of interest given by J.M. Keynes. IS model is also called as the real theory of interest. Why? Because the interest rate in the classical theory are decided by real factors that are demand for saving and supply of saving. Demand for saving is done for investment, which is related to risk, productivity of capital, yield on capital, whereas the supply of saving depends upon sacrifice, thrift, and abstaining from present consumption, which are the real factors. So the interest rate are decided on the basis of real factor, the supply of saving, which is upward sloping curve and positively related with the rate of interest. The higher the rate of interest, higher will be the supply of saving because people will do more sacrifice, abstain from the present consumption to earn the high interest rate. Whereas the demand for saving is done for investment, but it is negatively related with the rate of interest. If the higher the rate of interest, the lower the demand for investment, and vice versa. So equilibrium interest rate is decided on the basis of the demand for saving and the supply of saving at point A, which gives the equilibrium interest and the level of income. Whereas LM model is called the monetary theory of interest. Why? Because the interest rate are decided by monetary factors that are liquidity preference and the supply of money. In this figure, liquidity preference curve shows the demand for money inversely related with the rate of interest, and the supply of money is a vertical straight line. Interest rate is decided at point A, where the demand for money and the supply of money are equal. So now it is clear that the Higgs-Hansen ISLM model emphasized the interaction between both the asset market and the goods market to give the macro picture of the economy on the interest rate and the equilibrium level of income. So here is the asset market and the goods market. Assets market are of two types, money market and bond market. Money market equilibrium is decided on the basis of demand for money and supply of money, which is controlled and regulated by monetary authority through its monetary policy. If central bank decides to take expansionary monetary policy by cutting down the rates, demand for money will increase. If central bank will decide to take contractionary monetary policy by increasing the rates, the demand for money will fall. In bond market, the demand and supply of bond depends upon the interest rate. While in goods market, the equilibrium is decided on the basis of aggregate demand and aggregate supply. Fiscal policy controls the goods market. Because fiscal policy is given by the government, if government decide to take expansionary fiscal policy, it will cut down the rates, increase public expenditure. As a result, aggregate demand will increase. If government decides to have contractionary fiscal policy, it will increase the tax and reduce the public expenditure. As a result, aggregate demand will fall. So this clearly shows that both the asset market and the goods market taken together play a very important role in deciding the national income and the equilibrium interest rate in the economy. So in that way, Higgs-Hansen IS model took both the IS model and the LM model and then derived the IS curve, which shows the goods market equilibrium schedule, and LM curve, which shows the money market equilibrium schedule. And both IS and LM curve together give the equilibrium interest rate and the level of output or the level of national income in the economy. In part 2 of ISLM model, we will discuss the derivation of IS curve and LM curve for Higgs-Hansen model. We will discuss the simultaneous equilibrium in both the goods market and money market and the derivation of aggregate demand schedule for IS-LM theory. If you have any question on this presentation, please put your question in the comment section and like and subscribe my channel to get further notification. Thank you so much.